Afternoon. Welcome to the vCISO Edge, critical cybersecurity protection for regulated industries. My name is Kate Smith, and I'm the Vice President of Client Success here at IT Solutions. I'm joined today with our VP of Solutions Enablement, Tyler Sanders, as well as Rishwan Saeed, our Manager of vCISO Services and Cybersecurity Consulting, to talk about a new opportunity to better support our managed services clients in the manufacturing industry. Thanks for joining me today, gentlemen.
Thanks, Kate. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Awesome. Before we dive into today's session, I wanted to cover a few housekeeping items. All attendees are in listen-only mode to avoid any feedback issues that we may experience. The webinar is being recorded and will be made available to all registered attendees. Please look for the recording in your inbox in the coming days after today's webinar. We absolutely love questions, so please feel free to use the Q&A button on the bottom of the Zoom. At the end of our presentation, we will conclude with answering all of our questions. With that, let's dig in. As your IT cybersecurity partner, we sit at the intersection of hundreds of client environments, regulatory requirements, and evolving threats. That gives us a unique perspective. We see not just isolated incidents, but patterns and risks that are consistently targeting manufacturing organizations like yours. What we're seeing today is a threat landscape that's more aggressive, more complex, and frankly, more unforgiving than ever before. Some of the pervasive threats that we see impacting our clients in the manufacturing industry include ransomware targeting downtime. Attackers know that even a few hours of lost productivity means massive financial impact. They're targeting organizations like yours specifically through evolving and sophisticated methods for quick and costly payouts. Additional key challenges: operational technology and information technology convergence risks. As plant floor systems such as PLC, SCADA, and Internet of Things connect with IT networks, attackers use those opportunities to exploit outdated firmware and/or flat networks. There are challenges around supply chain and vendor dependencies. Specifically, we're seeing instances of breaches increasingly come through suppliers, logistics partners, software vendors. One weak link in the supply chain can disrupt the entire production cycle. We're seeing increased regulatory pressure. Manufacturers are facing growing expectations to demonstrate cybersecurity maturity. For some, this means strict compliance with frameworks like CMMC3 or NIST, ICHAR, or ISO 27001. For others, it's about adopting recognized frameworks as a best practice benchmark to show clients, insurers, and partners they're protecting sensitive systems and data. Lastly, IP theft and espionage. Our intellectual property is a top target for nation-state actors and competitors. Standard tools may detect anomalies, but they don't always ensure your teams understand and or how to prepare for the long-term business risks. So the million-dollar question is, where do we go from here? I'm excited to dig in and talk a little bit with my SME experts on the phone today. But before we dig in, let's take a step back and really acknowledge where many of us are today, the work and investments we've already committed to securing the future of our organizations. A lot of the items that are on the screen today are familiar to many of us. Most of us already have a strong foundation in place. We're using MFA. We're using email threat protection to block common entry points. These are essential strategic investments. They are absolutely necessary, and without them, we do risk, additional breach opportunity. But here's the challenge. Each of these tools produces signals, data, and alerts, but none of them on their own tell us exactly what matters most in the grand scheme of things. And as we just saw in the threat landscape, ransomware, regulatory pressure, third-party risk, and social engineering, these aren't problems we can necessarily solve with one technology alone. We have the right building blocks, works, but there's a strategic layer that's missing. This is something we recognize at ITS to improve to better support our clients. And with that, I'm going to turn the conversation over to Tyler and Rishwan, who are going to talk to us a little bit more about vCISO and enhanced cybersecurity.
Thanks, Kate. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly where the vCISO CyberSecure program comes in. It doesn't replace what you've already invested in and all the tools that Kate just laid out. It elevates it through executive oversight, a strategic roadmap, and more so your investments are working in harmony, aligned to your business goals and focused on the risks that matter most. Remember that security is a journey and not a destination. So we built a program to be more than a service. It's our way of partnering with you beyond what you already receive from your strategic advisors and the technology roadmap standpoint. So you have clarity and confidence knowing that you're doing what you need to be secure. So, Rijwan, we've been talking about the threat landscape and the tools most clients already have in place. What exactly is vCISO CyberSecure and how is it different from the cybersecurity services we're already delivering to our clients?
Sure, Tyler. So our vCISO CyberSecure is our virtual information security officer program, but it's more than just a vCISO time. We are building a true executive level cybersecurity partnership with our clients through this. Every client gets a designated vCISO who works alongside the leadership team and the IT teams to help them make the best cybersecurity decisions that are very specific to their business. And for clients that already have CISOs, this is a true partnership. This is not a replacement for that CISO, but rather a partnership where we are providing second set of eyes to help that the CISO and their team reach their cybersecurity goals.
Right. So if a client already has tools like MFA, EDR in place, and a lot of those other tools, what is this program actually adding to that stack?
That's a great question, Tyler. These tools are an essential part of any organization's cyber resilience. I mean, almost mandatory, but they are just produce signals that need to be acted upon. That's not strategy. What's missing is the layer of interpreting those signals, prioritizing it, also known as governance. And that's where our vCISO CyberSecure program actually comes in. We take those signals, translate them into business outcomes, helping clients focus on what needs to be done first. It's a partnership that we develop we set up a strategic roadmap for the cybersecurity roadmap for them. Whether it's based on security best practices or on a specific regulatory framework that they need to align with. And it was very specific to the organization's goals and the level of risk tolerance, because we know every client will have a different level of risk tolerance. And then we provide executive-ready reporting that would satisfy a client's board, the insurance company, and even provide regulators with evidence that you are reviewing everything that is required for that particular regulation as part of our reporting dashboards.
Right. And that's really why we created this program. We saw that clients had invested in strong tools, but some are still asking or required to go beyond our IT roadmap and technology reports, whether it's to meet your compliance requirements, have a competitive advantage in your marketplace. The vCISO CyberSecure will answer these questions, give you clarity and confidence at the executive level and a direction forward. So our vCISO CyberSecure program, it comes in two different flavors. The standard vCISO CyberSecure tier, as shown in that middle column, is for clients that need to strengthen their security posture, reduce risk, and get that executive level support and guidance, but you don't necessarily have strict compliance obligations. As a best practice, the assessments and deliverables are aligned rather to a standard framework like the CIS Top 18 controls and includes semi-annual reviews and reporting. The second tier is the regulatory tier, and that's the one over on the right in the PowerPoint now. And that just goes a step further. So it's designed for clients who must maintain alignment with specific regulatory frameworks and need ongoing validation to stay secure and audit ready. In this tier, more frequent cadence, which is quarterly, and the advisory goes deeper into compliance oversight and management.
Yes. So if you are for example, a defense manufacturing industry that needs to comply with CMMC 2.0 level 2, this regulatory tier is built for you. It could be any other framework that you were specifically required to do. It's not up, I want to mention here that this is not about getting you compliant from scratch. It's about having that second peer set of eyes. It's about structured reviews that are actually required as part of that program to make sure that you are remaining compliant as those regulations evolve and you are doing the right things that the regulation demands that you continue to do and show evidence, and it helps you meet that mark every single time rather than trying to scramble towards the end of right before an audit getting that. And I also want to add to that point though is that if you're today you're concerned about meeting compliance or don't really understand where you are to be fully compliant, we offer a separate gap assessment to help you understand where you are and what you need to be to first become compliant, and then have this rolling vCISO program to help you remain compliant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if you're not under those kinds of requirements yet, the standard program gives you the same strategic oversight without the requirements to have compliance and some of the strict controls around that. So it starts to prepare you for that and get you into a more secure posture. So our goal here isn't to force one path or the other. I mean, you're going to know if you're a regulated industry, you're going to need to be part of the vCISO CyberSecure regulatory. And if you just want to be in a more secure type of position and have a better security roadmap, then vCISO CyberSecure is the right fit to get started. So Rijwan, as we look at kind of what this program is and the ongoing support, let's walk through what it actually involves in that ongoing cadence and engagement.
Sure. So we always begin with the foundations. These programs start with a security maturity level assessment. Basically, it's looking at where you are today and what you need to be focused on. And then we go through with the organization and document their risks, very specific to that organization, how they are, where they are. And then what we have is a prioritized cybersecurity roadmap that is based on evidence that we've collected through the security maturity level assessment and the risks. And it's not just our opinion, it is based on international frameworks recognized throughout. And in addition to that, you get an executive level dashboard that helps guide that program and makes you the goal here is to make you incrementally better every time we do these assessments and we walk with you through this journey. So right out of the gate, you're not just getting analysis, you're getting evidence-based targets that guide the decisions both at the technical level and the executive levels.
Yeah, so once these foundations are in place, Rijwan, what happens after that?
So there's always the ongoing oversight that comes in, right? Throughout I'll use 1 year as a benchmark, but we'll have these strategic reviews where vCISO is sitting down with your leaderships. We're updating the executive dashboard to see where you are, what your progress is. We're having annual cyber risk assessments and looking and reviewing those risks in the meeting cadences. We are regularly reviewing your dark web exposure, your SOC SIM data, your vulnerabilities, and your awareness training, and what it means to you, and what corrective actions, if any, need to be taken that are very specific to your business. The point here is consistency. We don't just hand you a roadmap and disappear. We validate progress, interpret those signals, and we adjust that roadmap as threats or your businesses or the client's business priorities evolve.
Right. So on top of the reviews, we're also providing policy guidance, workshops, support with things like insurance questionnaires, and advisory around compliance framework readiness. These aren't theoretical exercises. They're the kind of deliverables you can actually use in board meetings, insurance renewals, or audits. They show that your program isn't just running tools, it's maturing strategically. So to that point, I mean, when you look at it all together, there's a clear sequence. You establish your baseline, build a risk register and roadmap, then layer in the ongoing oversight and supporting activities to help the team. The value is that you're not left guessing. You have structure, clarity, measurable outcomes that keep your cybersecurity investments working for you. So Ridgwan, we've talked about the engagement model, but let's hone in on the role of the vCISO itself. Can you explain more about this person and what they actually do for our clients?
Sure. Your vCISO really is your cybersecurity partner at the executive level. Your job is to sit alongside with your leadership, your IT teams, and not just talk about what tools and alerts are coming in, but to translate what that means for your cybersecurity in terms of business outcomes, your cyber risks, and your priorities, and what those priorities should be to reduce your risk footprint. They act as an unbiased cybersecurity steward, someone who isn't selling you a product or just pushing a single control and trying to convince you on that, but they're helping you build a sustainable cybersecurity maturity program. They interpret those deliverables like risk registers and dashboards into actionable next steps that the manufacturing industry organizations can actually use.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you already have a CISO, this program's still a great fit. It's not a replacement for an internal CISO. If you already have one, IT Solutions vCISO acts as a second set of eyes and extension of their team. They can validate strategies, help prioritize initiatives, provide extra bandwidth. Think of it as reinforcing what you already have in place. Your CISO's driving strategy, and the vCISO CyberSecure program supports that with structured reviews, reporting, alignment to frameworks. Together, they make sure there's no blind spots and your cybersecurity roadmap stays on track. So whether you have a CISO or not, this program's about helping you make informed decisions, reduce risk, and build long-term practices rooted in risk-informed approach. It's another layer of confidence that your business is focusing on the right risks at the right time. So as we start to close out, let's recap what makes our vCISO cybersecure approach different from what other IT providers might deliver for manufacturers. Ridgwan, where do you see it in there?
So most providers focus on tools or one-off assessments or try to sell hours that you can spend with the VC. So what we've done is we built a deliverable-based program to be about progress you can see and measure. That means instead of a checklist exercise, you get deliverables that show real movement, a roadmap, dashboard, and how your maturity is growing that you can track over time. Let's call it it is a continuous program, but we take baselines every year and we record that progress, and it leads towards a reduced risk footprint, enhanced cybersecurity posture, and actually protecting your bottom line because you are spending the money on the right stuff and you are protected from all the losses that may be incurred as a result of something bad happening because of a cyber attack.
Yeah, because manufacturing has its own unique challenges, from protecting your IP, DoD contracts, ensuring seamless operational technology integration and uptime. We tailor the program to align to those realities. It's not just generic cybersecurity, it's built specifically around your industry needs. Outcomes simple, clarity for leadership, confidence in compliance, and a program that keeps your investments working towards what matters most in manufacturing: uptime, security, and resilience. So Ridgwan, as we start to close out, let's recap what makes our vCISO approach different. And I know you've summarized that already. But Kate, maybe we turn it over to you and see if we have any questions.
I think that was really helpful. I have a couple questions that came in regarding, how does my vCISO partner with my strategic advisor, previously called vCIO? I want to hold that question until we get to our Q&A. Before we do, this presentation really is meant to spread awareness about this new offering from IT Solutions. But we want to hear more from our clients. We want to be able to answer your specific questions around industry concerns, compliance concerns specific to your business or your IT environment. We'd like to have an in-person event where Rishwan and Tyler and I and some of our additional security analysts and vCISOs are actually there so we can dig deeper into some of the common questions and concerns. I'd like to poll our audience, what kind of events are of interest? Would our attendees consider attending an in-person event to learn more? Our team has put a poll into the webinar. If you would please share your feedback and likelihood of attending an event. We're trying to have some more unique events, so sporting events like horse racing. Here in Philadelphia, there's a horse racing, as well as in New York, active events such as Topgolf, maybe something creative, a sip and paint event, a region-specific event, something specific to Philly, New York, or any other region in the States, happy hour or dinner, or a classic lunch and learn during the day. We want to make sure that we're having events that meet our clients where they are in the most reasonable ways. Thank you for filling out that feedback, and we'll make sure that we provide an update as to where our next in-person event will be based on the group's poll. So with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Oh, I love that. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We went very quickly. We covered a lot. And really, from the evolving threat landscape to the tools you already have in place, and now we're talking about vCISO. This is a lot of information all at once. I want to be clear that IT Solutions is dedicated to being more than just an IT provider. We're really your partner in business. Our goal is to give you clarity, confidence, and peace of mind that your organization is prepared for what's ahead. We hope you'll consider this program as a way to strengthen your cybersecurity posture, but really more importantly, please know that we're here to support you. You can always reach out to your senior strategic advisor or anyone on the ITS team with questions, concerns, or help for next steps. Since we're fortunate enough to have Tyler and Rishwan with us here today, I did want to open up our conversation a little bit to answer some of the questions we've received. So team, Tyler and Rishwan, the first question that we have from the group: if we already have cybersecurity tools such as MFA and endpoint protection, what additional value does the vCISO program offer?
I'll take that one. So this is a great question. Tools like MFA, EDR, they are very essential. They do make up the core stack, but at the same time, they just generate a lot of data and alerts that need to be interpreted and prioritized. The protection is there already, but what does that mean to your business is where the vCISO comes in. The vCISO program as that strategic layer, helping you translate what those signals mean to specifically to your business and what outcomes you should be focusing on based on what you're seeing from all this data that's coming in. We provide the executive-ready reporting, help you prioritize those risks, and ensure your cybersecurity investments are working together effectively. It's about moving from a reactive to a proactive approach, and from a technical to a more strategic way of looking at cybersecurity.
I love that response, Rishwan. Thank you so much. The strategic piece, I think, is the most valuable piece for our clients in this conversation. And really, this dovetails nicely into the next question. How is the vCISO service, in terms of the deliverable back to the client, how is that different, or how is that complemented to the existing strategic advisor assignment and the roadmap that we're seeing today? Rishwan, I can probably answer half of that if you can touch on the vCISO.
Sure.
So from an SA perspective today, our strategic advisors are really responsible for understanding the technology framework, the client's business process, industry workflows, and really providing strong technology recommendations. We also do provide the security recommendations, but where the vCISO service takes those recommendations is exactly what Rishwan was describing. It becomes more strategic. our vCISO is able to have a more in-depth conversation around security as it relates to all of the tools, all of the data, and all of the ingestion of that information through a singular lens. Rishwan, can you cap off a little bit with how the vCISO takes the information and then provides recommendations back to, potentially a client?
Thanks, Kate. So you've described most of it. It is a strategic partnership at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. It's not about, okay, what makes sense in a global scale of what you should be having. It's more because we are looking at a client from a very specific angle. We're looking at their specific maturity level. We're looking at the risks that are very specific to their organization. We actually are able to drill down further than a vCIO, and the vCISO looks at it from a perspective, okay, this is what is very important to you today versus an organization X that needs something much faster than you because of their business risk. You need this specifically cybersecurity control or a change in process more rapidly because of how your business is at risk or the regulation that you specifically have to follow rather than from a global angle.
I really love that. I think our clients want to understand the holistic perspective, right? Like when we're meeting with them and providing guidance and consultative services around technology, now we can bring in that security, that compliance piece that I think, to your point, had really been missing from a lot of the engagement. So the next question that we have from the group, how does the vCISO program help with regulatory compliance? That's a great.
So we have to think of regulatory compliance as not as a complete and forget about it till you are audited next. This is an ongoing strategy, and the vCISO CyberSecure regulatory program is actually designed to align with your specific regulatory requirements, whether it's the CMMC 2.0 version of NIST, ISO 27001, HIPAA, or any others. We help you maintain that ongoing compliance. We do structured reviews. We do gap assessments. We do executive level reporting. And it offers a deeper look at where you are in terms of, are you audit ready? What more needs to be done to help you be audit ready so you're not falling behind with regulations that are changing. Manufacturing industry, CMMC is a wonderful example of this that is almost changing every month.
Lastly, we mentioned deliverables as part of this program. I mean, clients always want to understand, what is the value of my investment into this service? So can you talk a little bit about some of the tangible deliverables that will be provided along with this?
Absolutely. I mean, this is definitely a deliverable-based program. So we do have a lot of tangible deliverables that are included, milestones, if you want to call them. We have the security maturity level assessment. We have the risk register. We build out your cybersecurity roadmap. We build out the executive dashboard. We are reviewing your dark web findings, what they mean to your organization. We're talking about your policies, what needs to be there, how to improve upon those policies, if there's anything missing. We provide support for insurance questionnaires that you may get. And these are designed to provide clarity, demonstrate progress, and support decision-making at both technical and executive levels.
Fantastic. And Rishwan, just a little bonus point here. Would it be fair to represent that the vCISO would work in partnership with the strategic advisor to deliver one complete regular QBR, where we're talking about not only the vCISO security aspects and recommendations, but also the standard network technology recommendations as well?
Absolutely. Like I said, it's a holistic picture. Like so, the QBR, the quarterly business review, and the quarterly security review go hand in hand. The vCISO, once they identify something as a major gap, just as an example, they work with the strategic advisor to make sure that it's not just on the security roadmap, but actually on the SA's roadmap And sometimes the conversation is about moving stuff priority-wise that the SA would have had in their QBR, and make sure that something that is increasing their risk footprint or making a client vulnerable is being addressed first versus another initiative that may have been on the plan.
Fantastic. I love that. I love that pulling together all of these pieces to provide an executive summary across various pieces of the business is wildly helpful to the clients. Rashwan, thank you. Tyler, thank you both for participating and being our SMEs on today's webinar. I'm going to check our chat one more time before we break for today. If there are any other questions or concerns, I don't believe so. I'd like to thank all our panelists today for participating in the conversation. I would like to thank all of our attendees. Again, please look for an email with today's recording. And if there are any other questions or concerns, please reach out to your strategic advisor, and we'll be happy to follow up on next steps. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah.